Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to continue on with my sunscreen review series for 2025. I have done this series on my channel for the last several years, but I typically start the series during around the beginning of summer. I decided this year to go ahead and start a little bit earlier because honestly, you should be protecting your skin from the sun year-round. You shouldn't just be wearing SPF during June, July, and August, the hottest months of the year, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. Even in the middle of December, you are being exposed to the sun's rays. And as someone who has a family history of specifically melanoma skin cancer, and as someone who also grew up in the 80s and 90s, I participated in a lot of really bad behaviors when it came to sun exposure during that time of my life. When I was in middle school and high school, it was very popular to slather yourself up in baby oil and either lay outside and bake in the sun, or better yet, if you had a friend with a trampoline, there was no faster way to get a sunburn and thus your base tan for the season than slathering yourself in baby oil and laying on a trampoline. Listen, I was like 12, 13. I didn't know any better back then, and it really wasn't talked about that this could eventually someday come back and bite me in the butt. Like, no one said anything at that point in time that, you know, this was dangerous. Now, fast forward into my early adulthood, I continued those really bad behaviors when it comes to UV exposure by purchasing tanning bed memberships. Yep, I was one of those people. Now, I only did that for, I think, maybe a year and a half before I finally canceled the membership. But I was going to the tanning bed as often as possible because it would de-stress me after coming home from work. I was a social worker, and honestly, that was my treat at the end of the workday, was to stop by Palm Beach Tan and to give myself a 20-minute relaxation session in the tanning bed. When I look back at that now, I should have had some better coping skills, obviously. I did so much damage to my skin, and I am terrified of developing melanoma as a result of those early behaviors in my life. So I just think it's really important, and I like to stress here on the small platform that I do have, that it is very important to be mindful about the amount of sun exposure that you are getting. You know, I do think it's important to get that vitamin D from the sun, but you need to be careful in terms of the amount of exposure that you're getting. And then if you want to be outside even longer, you can, but you have to protect your skin. So anyway, this is why I love sharing this review series, because I just like to spread the word of the importance of protecting your skin. I know this was a little bit of a long TED Talk before actually getting into the review, but I really want to stress the importance of protecting your skin year-round, not just during the middle of the summer. There are UV rays that are hitting your skin in December as well. So, and if you still have a tanning bed membership, please refrain from doing that. It's one of the best things that you can do for your skin, even if it's only for the vanity of, you know, preventing that further sun damage. I mean, if that's what it takes, then, you know, use that as your excuse to quit doing it, but protect your skin every single day. So the SPF that I'm reviewing today is the SKIN1004 Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum SPF 50 Plus PA++++. About a week and a half ago, or maybe even 2 weeks ago now, I reviewed the SKIN1004 Airfit Sun Cream Light SPF 30 PA++++. This little guy right here. If you missed that review, I will link this in the description box below this video here. This is a fantastic everyday SPF, but I also wanted to try a higher level of SPF from SKIN1004 because as someone who works a a job where I'm outside a lot during the summer. I'm a florist. Obviously, there's a lot of weddings that happen in the summer, and most people here in Oregon, despite our rainy, dreary reputation, the summers here are beautiful, you guys. More times than not, it's just sun basically starting in June nonstop until the beginning of October. Like, we get very little rain during the summer, so a lot of people choose to get married outside, which is great, but that means that I am even more exposed to the sun's rays because of my job. So on days where I am working outside, I choose to protect my skin with a much higher SPF. This is one of the ones that I really wanted to test out. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm gonna go ahead and read through the claims and talk a little bit through the ingredients here. This is a chemical SPF. So that's the type of protection that you're getting here. This other SPF that I mentioned is a mineral SPF. Again, that's great for every day. This, I think, is greater in terms of if you're gonna be outside a whole lot longer, or especially during the summer, maybe when the sun's rays are even a little bit more intense. So let's go ahead and read through the claims here. By the way, it is a little bit harder to get these Korean SPFs right now because of some stuff that's happening with the FDA here. But there are still ways to get this SPF, so I will have it linked at the top of the description box at a few different retailers. This is crazy affordable, you guys. I'm reading this information here actually from the Walmart website. This is $9 through the Walmart website, so it's really affordable. It's a lot more affordable than I would say even some of our drugstore SPFs that you can just walk into like CVS or Rite Aid or whatever and pick up. All right. The SKIN1004 Madagascar Centella Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum does wonders by blocking harmful UV rays while providing your skin with essential hydration. The result is a gorgeously moisturized and dewy look. It's standout Hyalu-Cica formula combining Centella Asiatica extract with hyaluronic acid. Offers dual benefits of healing and hydrating. It's the perfect choice for anyone wanting effective sun protection with a bonus of skin loving care. So again, this is a chemical sunscreen with an effective UVA and UVB protection of SPF 50 plus and PA plus 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 plus. It's an ultra lightweight sunscreen with a non-sticky and serum-like texture, providing a breathable and dewy finish with no white cast. We'll address that. Breaking stereotypes of dry and stiff sunscreens, it has a light moisturizer-like texture that runs smoothly on the face with quick absorption. Certified as a multifunctional cosmetic for 3 different properties: brightening, wrinkle reduction, and UV protection by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. This is also reef safe. So anyway, a few of the other notable ingredients in here. This also has niacinamide in the formulation. It has the Centella Asiatica, which is so wonderful at soothing irritated skin. This has alfalfa extract, broccoli sprout extract in it. There is adenosine in this formulation, the hyaluronic acid, tocopherol. It's a really elegant formulation, you guys. So anyway, that's a little bit about the claims here. And next, I want to tell you my experience using this SPF. So let's get into that. For me, my skin type is going through some changes right now. I used to be extremely oily, but I started hormone replacement therapy back in December. And honestly, over the last just 4 months here, my skin has gone from extremely oily to a more normal combo type situation. So I still have a little bit of oil that's peeking through, but my oil production has been cut, I would say, more than in half. It's one of the fantastic benefits of HRT. I love HRT just in general. There's a lot more benefits than that. But so for me, it's been really interesting to be able to use a more hydrating SPF like this. and it feels so good on the skin, you guys. The texture is really incredibly lightweight. We're gonna take a look at the application here in just a minute. I took some footage this morning of me applying this before putting my makeup on so that you could see how it goes onto the skin. It glides on incredibly smoothly. It feels like you are applying an unscented, soothing moisturizer. When you first apply, the white cast that you kind of think is going to be there disappears very quickly, and you'll see that in the application. And I mean, I don't have any white cast on my skin at all. I've taken some pictures and there are no issues with flashback or anything like that. It doesn't clog my pores. This formulation has not made me break out. It doesn't make my skin feel oilier later on in the day. I love the glow that it gives my skin. Quite honestly, I mean, look at my skin. You'll see this when when I do the outro here at the end, but like, I just feel like my skin has this lit from within glow whenever I wear this particular SPF. And I don't think my skin looks oily or greasy. I mean, maybe somebody would look at this and think, yeah, that's a little too shiny for me. You can definitely apply some powder over top. You can matte this down if you want, but I really like this natural glow that I get from this formulation. So for me, this formula not only provides amazing protection, it works incredibly well with my, I would say, combo skin. It has not clogged my pores at all. It provides a beautiful lit from within glow, and it's fabulous. There's nothing bad that I have to say about this formulation, you guys. I think this is an SPF that I would encourage pretty much all skin types to try. Even if you are a very oily skin type, I think you should try this, because here's the thing that I like to always stress to people who have oily skin. If you are not hydrating your skin, you're making the problem worse. This is something that I did for years, where I would try to dry my skin out. And it wasn't until I started being a lot more gentle with my oily skin and actually hydrating it that the oil production just slowed down. I would say pretty significantly. Now, I still had an oily skin type at that point, but it was not nearly as bad. So using a formulation like this will give you just a light layer of hydration in the morning that is going to trick your skin into thinking that it does not need to produce more oils. So trust me, if you have never tried this and you're an oily skinned person, please try it. It takes a little while for your skin to get used to it, but it will get used to it, and then it's like magic. Anyway, I'm in love. Let's go ahead and take a look at the demo here, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's go ahead and apply some SPF. Apologies in advance if you can hear our neighbors' peacocks. They're pretty loud this morning. Their names are Lunch and Dinner. I live in a city. I don't think you're technically supposed to have peacocks here, but our neighbors just don't care. So anyway, we've got some SPF here. I've actually already applied it to my neck. I forgot to hit record. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this to my face, just so you guys can see how this goes on to the skin. And of course, my phone starts dinging. Sorry, that's my boss. Okay, let's rub this in. I wonder what she wants, actually. Probably to know where a vase is. I'm off today. I'm not playing hooky. Okay. I love the way that this feels when it goes on. It honestly feels like a moisturizer. And what's really interesting is that it doesn't have that typical SPF smell to it. So it really does feel like you are applying just an unscented lotion to your face. This is probably one of the most hydrating SPFs that I've ever used. And now that my skin is way less oily, I can appreciate having an SPF that hydrates the skin a little bit more. Just, you know, in terms of just providing protection, it's kind of nice to also have that little extra bit of hydration. By the way, this does not irritate my eyes at all. I do bring this one right up underneath the eye area, as you can see, and it's not irritating my eyes at all. So all right, so I'm gonna give this probably about 15 minutes to settle into my skin, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my makeup for the day, and yeah, I'll be good to go. So anyway, that's the application of this one. It feels really good. It's not greasy, it's not heavy feeling. It just feels, sorry about that, really good on the skin. Anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and do a little outro and wrap it up. So I went ahead and waited just about 15 minutes for the SPF to fully settle into my skin, and then went in with my makeup routine for the day. This is obviously the end result here. I am someone who chooses to wear powder foundation instead of liquid. I've worn powder for years and it just works really well for me. My foundation of choice is usually more times than not the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten powder foundation. I use the shade Fair, and this is the end result. As you can see, there is just a little bit of a glow to my skin. So despite the fact that I wear powder foundation, this SPF gives me that kind of lit from within glow that just is, I think, a wonderful addition to my makeup routine. Actually, I feel like I am using some kind of luminizing primer or something when I use this particular foundation. I just really love how my skin looks. After applying this, I love how well it pairs with my makeup routine. I love the fact that it wears so well throughout the day, and more importantly, it provides a really good amount of protection, which is something that is really important to me as someone who works outside oftentimes during the summer. Because of my job, I don't really always have a lot of time to reapply my SPF. And so for me, it's important that when I first head out to the job that I have a good layer of protection on my skin that gives me a solid base to start with. You know, I can always go in with SPF sprays throughout the day to touch up, but it's most important to me to start the day with a solid layer of protection that really is going to also protect the investment that I have made with all of the skincare products that I'm using in both my morning and evening routine. So anyway, if you are looking for a fabulous SPF that is great for what I would consider a wide variety of skin types, I would definitely check this one out. Again, I'll have it listed and linked at a few different retailers where you can currently find it on sale at the very top of the description box. It is super affordable, and I would say if you're in the market at all, this is a great one to try out. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Don't forget to share your experience with the SKIN1004 Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum SPF 50 PA+++++. All right, thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you're new, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.